Okay, here we go with the awesome word problem that you will for sure have to do on your test, so take some good notes here. The profit in millions of dollars for a producer of electric scooters can be modeled by profit, P, equals negative x cubed plus 7x, where x is the number of scooters produced, also in millions. Okay, and I'm actually going to clarify that these are in millions. Currently, the company produces 2 million scooters and makes a profit of $6 million. What lesser number of scooters could the company produce and still yield the same profit? Okay, so I want the same profit. Well, I know that the profit is supposed to be $6 million, but the profit is in millions, so P should equal 6 and not 6 with all the zeros, so please be careful with that. So because it's in millions, profit is just 6, because that is in millions. And I know that if I put 2 in for x, so it says here that if you produce 2 million scooters, you should get a profit of 6 mil. Okay, so for example, if I put in 2 for all of the x's, I'm going to get a negative 8 plus 14, which is 6, right? So that's just like, okay, duh. I know that that works, and I want to find a different amount of scooters that's still going to give me a profit of $6 million. So I'm going to put 6 in for P, because I want a $6 million profit, right? Good place to start. And then, of course, I'm going to subtract that 6 over and see that I need to solve to find the x-intercepts, right? Anytime you solve, anytime it's set equal to 0, you're looking for the x-intercepts, the zeros, the solutions. Well, good news is I know one solution that's going to work for this is 2. Because if I put 2 in, that's going to be negative 8 plus 14, which is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. So it's like a freebie. Okay, so use this to your advantage because that cubic function is not factorable. So I'm going to do synthetic using the 2 million scooters, and the coefficients are negative 1x cubed. I have no x squared. Be careful. I have a 7x and I have a negative 6 constant. So if I do synthetic, and of course I know I should be getting a 0 remainder when I do this, and sure enough I do. Now I went from a cubic function down to a quadratic. So this is negative x squared minus 2x plus 3. Okay, maybe this is factorable. Maybe not. We'll find out. I hope, but you never know. So are there factors of 3 that add up to, oh, I'm sorry, it's a negative. I'm going to set this equal to 0. And I'm going to divide everything by negative, just because I don't like that negative x squared, but you don't have to do that. So are there factors of negative 3 that add up to positive 2? And of course, good news, there is. So that would be x plus 3 and x minus 1. And when I solve that, I get negative 3 and I get positive 1. Now, I'm talking about number of scooters. Well, I cannot have a negative amount of scooters, so I know that it's going to be 1, but this is in millions, so 1 million scooters will also produce that same maximum or that same revenue. I don't know that it was maximum, so 600 or 6 million, I think it was, dollars. So not too bad of a problem. Now the one thing I want to point out is, what if this didn't factor? How in the world did you solve that? And no big deal, you just have to use the quadratic formula. So let's say that this didn't factor and I had to use the quadratic formula and I got x equals 2.73. That just means I'd have to have 2.73 million scooters, which is possible because 2.73 million would be 2,730,000. So don't be alarmed if you get, a decimal amount of scooters, if it's in millions especially, because that would actually be a whole number amount of scooters. So again, I'm just going to go back up and make sure that you understand. So you were told that you had 2 million scooters, and so I used that 2 million with the equation, but I put the 6 in for profit because I know I wanted the same profit. So I put 6 in for there, got everything to one side, did synthetic using the 2 million, and that got me down to a quadratic, which you can always solve. and then those answers from my quadratic gave me the other possible amount of scooters that would give me that same profit.